Finally, a rated R comic book movie brought to the big screen. Well, the first one in 3 years. Hey there guys, how are you? And you know what? This shirt's just not going to do it for this review. Hang on, I'll be right back. Alright, that's better. And by the way, I found this in my closet. Yeah, it's a plastic foot. The character Deadpool is a merc with a mouth, and it's the role that Ryan Reynolds was made to play. Now, the overall plot to this movie is nothing new or groundbreaking, nor does it have to be. It's basically just a revenge movie. That's the plot. But if you take that plot and you interject the character of Deadpool into it, and you do the character justice for the first time on the big screen, well, you're probably going to have a really good, entertaining, fucking awesome movie. And did we get those things? Yes, we did. Now let's very quickly talk about Ryan Reynolds. I'm a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds. He does a lot of shitty movies, but he's also done a few good movies over the years, and his comedic comedy style is perfect for Deadpool. I don't know if he based his life on the character of Deadpool, or he was just subsequently the perfect match to play Deadpool, but either way, they come together and mesh so well that you can't imagine any other actor in Hollywood playing the character of Deadpool as well as Ryan Reynolds did in this movie. Now, before I continue on with my review of Deadpool, let's go back in time just for a brief second and talk about the first time Ryan Reynolds ever played Deadpool. What the fuck is that? And one of my favorite things about this new Deadpool movie is it makes fun of those past attempts at, well, the character of Deadpool, and also makes fun of other movies that Ryan Reynolds was in, such as this big green pile of shit right here. And I absolutely love things like that. I like when a movie makes fun of other movies, and especially breaks the fourth wall of just, hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, I was in this movie, I was in that movie, let's make fun of it. And there's also a whole bunch of little nods and tidbits to other movies and comic book characters that probably only movie nerd fans will get, but it was funny nevertheless. I mean, it was like me and two other guys in the theater of 150 people laughing, but you know what? Those jokes were meant for you and I, and that's what I appreciate. I like when movies do that. And you know what else I appreciate about this new Deadpool movie is? It's rated R. This movie goes for it, and did you guys ever imagine, like ever, that you would see a rated R Deadpool movie done well? I know I didn't. It almost gives me hope for movies and comic book movies. And don't get me wrong, not every single comic book movie needs to be hard R, but you know what? Sometimes they do. And this movie right here, being a low-budget, rated R comic book movie that's making a lot of money, will pave the way for other movies down the road. Just thinking about things like that makes me as hard as adamantium. Did I just really fucking say that? I don't care. I'm leaving it in. I'm leaving it in. Okay, let's get back to the rated R aspect of this movie. This movie goes for it. It's bloody, it's gory, it's violent. It uses crude language. It's everything that Deadpool is. And there's also some brief nudity in there, such as a burnt hot dog Ryan Reynolds wee-wee. But there's more to this movie than just that bloody, violent, brutal nudity and sexual content. There's also Ryan Reynolds masturbating with stuffed unicorns. So that gets 2 thumbs up. Now let's talk about the director of the film, Tim Miller. And this is this guy's first ever feature-length film. And can you tell? Absolutely not. The way that this guy directed and filmed this movie with the cinematography, you can actually tell what's going on. I like some of the shots that he does. It really interjects you right there into the action sequences. It makes you feel like you're part of it. I just really enjoyed the directing style of this movie, and I thought it worked well for what a Deadpool movie should be. And judging by what Tim Miller did with this Marvel property and these characters, here's my thing. After Bryan Singer's done with the X-Men franchise and they rebooted a few years down the road, have Tim Miller direct the newly rebooted X-Men movie. It's like I'm tired of seeing the X-Men wearing black leather jumpsuits. Give them their fucking costumes. Just go for it, because that's what this movie does, and guess what? It works. Okay, sorry for that. I was digressing just a little bit, but let's get back to the movie Deadpool. Now, the movie also has a few other characters like Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And I thought the diversity between all three of these characters, Deadpool, Negasonic, Teenage Warhead, that's a tongue twister, and Colossus, that was great on-screen chemistry. And by the way, speaking of Colossus, once again, this movie just takes characters straight off the comic book pages and brings them to the big screen. It doesn't try to tweak them, it doesn't try to change them. You got Colossus in this movie, and it was just like mind-blowing to see that. And when watching the movie, I was actually pleasantly surprised by how much screen time Colossus actually had. I thought it was just going to be in like 1 or 2 scenes, but he's pretty much a major supporting character throughout the movie. Now, the way that the story's told throughout the Deadpool movie is it cuts back and forth, almost Batman Begins style. You have flashbacks of an origin story mixed with the modern day action scenes where he's actually trying to get vengeance. So there's like a day in his life where he's trying to get vengeance, and throughout that day, it keeps cutting back to the flashback scenes of how he became Deadpool. And overall, I don't really have any complaints with the way that that story's told or the narrative of the movie, but I would say some of the flashback scenes, especially during the halfway point of the movie, I was like, okay, I get it. That's okay. I don't want any more flashback scenes. Just get back to the really cool, crazy shit with him in the red jumpsuit and the mask and the swords. More of that, please. Now, here are my final flicking thoughts on the Deadpool movie. It's funny at times and it's very violent at times, and they blend both those elements so well throughout this movie. And in the style of Deadpool, the movie does break the fourth wall many times, but it doesn't do it so many times where it becomes annoying or takes you out of the movie or the story. It does it a few times. It makes sense when they do it. So never once did it take me out of the action or the story. It always just combined everything together perfectly. So yeah, Deadpool is a fucking awesome time. I'm gonna give the movie an A for, well, I don't know, awesome? Yeah, we'll go with awesome. And really quickly, one of my favorite lines given in this movie, which is very true to me, is when Wade Wilson says, "Do you know what life is? It's one long shitty fairy tale interrupted by brief commercial breaks of happiness." And that's very true, isn't it? Or at least in my life it is. Alright guys, so that's my take on the Deadpool movie. Now here's my question to you, and let me know down below in the comments section. What'd you guys think about the movie? What'd you like? What'd you hate? What do you want to see go down in a sequel? And by the way, if you haven't already, please make sure you watch my final Batman v Superman trailer review. I'll put a link to that video down below. Check it out. It's a good time. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe. That way I can see you next time. Bye-bye.